Hello, excuse me. Hello, and welcome back, all you wonderful Tubi Dicers. I'm your host, Tarzan82855 on all social media platforms. You can find me under that name on TikTok, Instagram. I believe we'll just go with those for now. With me is the wonderful cast and crew of Tubi Dice Adventures. Let's go ahead and get a quick cast and roll call for tonight's episode. Starting off with our Northwind pilot, Chav.
Oops. Okay. Sorry, I was promoting for everybody here. Hi, my name's Matt. I'm the Warthorn Knight out there on the interwebs. Literally, if it exists out there, I exist under that name there. And I'm in a unique situation here where I can unimpeded tell you that I am playing as the greatest pilot in the galaxy and clearly the last one standing, which should show you that, very much so. I do mean when I say this, Chav, also known as Agent Lancer Visto, the Northwind pilot and smuggler, and yeah. If anybody disagrees, speak now or forever hold your peace. But in the meantime, on to you, Oz.
Bravo. What a fantastic introduction, Chav. Couldn't have asked for any better. Yes, today, true, you are, in fact, the undisputed pilot. However, words are going to have to be said about some things. But anyway. Hi. Yes, I am Oz. I am playing Rawl tonight. Rawl, let's see. It's been a long road, okay, coming to this point. And now, after everything that the whole party has gone through, and now finally coming to the point where we're trapped underground? What the fuck? Things are gonna get really messy, okay? So, Rawl, as we all know, our very lovely Grenadier extraordinaire and emo space boy, loves working on droids and ships and anything that likes to be mechanical. Yeah, and going through all these things, Rawl has just one question. Are we there yet? Is it time?
A very valid question, and the uncertainty that is the adventures of the group that was once known as Core Atlas. As one of their party members barrels towards the nearest sector of the galaxy to seek medical aid for their comrade who suffered grievous injuries. A little nod to old Grievous. The rest of the crew remains trapped underground with the Crypt Chasers, who commissioned them for protection on this planet. And in the route of escaping, departing the planet, were cut off by a massive creature that they once originally believed to be a Rancor. Turns out to be something entirely different. The frenzied monster, now identified as a Tentarek, a creature that solely feeds on the Force users that it hunts, barreled into the tomb of Darth Bane, clawing desperately to get its claws on the Force users that it sensed inside. In a desperate attempt, the crew members that did make it outside, Guy and Dove, harried it with massive amounts of firepower. And as it continued its blind rage to get its next meal. Between the firepower and this towering creature clawing at the entryway of this tomb compromised the structural integrity of the tomb, causing it to collapse in and come down on top of it, as well as trapping these three down below in the tombs, or in the tunnels below the tomb of Darth Bane. Before we continue on, let's get a quick little intro from our lovely Ego, and then we'll roll out the credits.
Hi, I'm Ren. I go by Mask Ren on the internet. I'm playing Ego, a Twi'lek scoundrel, Force user who's really not supposed to be here and has done nothing wrong in his life.
We love that part of your promo. I love it. All right. With that, where the rest of this journey will lead them, as far as these tunnels are concerned, is to be diced. The three of you, accompanied by the remaining crew of the Crypt Chasers, regaining your composure after the dust has settled, the tremors have ceased from the frenzied creature above, and the tomb collapsing in on itself. You guys began to formulate some kind of plan between the three of you and the Crypt Chasers as to what to do next. Your only the assured safe route out is buried, and from the advisement of the Crypt Chasers as well as your own investigations, should you remain in place to seek a safe exit out the way you came in, you will be down here for weeks, at least, to safely excavate the tomb to try and find a safe way out for those trapped within. But looking at the schematics that were provided by Guy prior to his departure to save the life of Dr. Bess, you surmise that there may be an alternate route that could facilitate a expedient escape from these tunnels, though you're not sure what lies ahead beyond what you already have explored. You could try passing through the cavern that bears a striking resemblance to a nest of sorts, or finding an alternate path through the Forbidden Chamber. In this moment, what are you all thinking? This isn't the right music. I don't like this. Catacombs, there we go. There we go. That's better.
So the way that Tarzan so eloquently put our options, it very much so sounds like, do you want to take, the path through the hot boiling lava, or do you want to go through the forest of death? Or perhaps into the caves of woe? It's all the options sound bad.
Or Wonder.
A
Wonder. What are you talking about?
wonder, yeah. that-
I want to go home.
we tried, and then Tarzan threw a hell
You are home.
Hey, no, none of that.
Hey,
None
listen.
of that.
Listen, you guys used a bunch of force powers on a planet that feeds off the force.
We used like 2.
Meditated, force pushed, or force manipulated,
That's 2.
sensed.
All right, fine.
Sure did.
Mistakes were
Twice,
made.
I think.
Mhm.
Twice.
Brawl, you're not helping.
With a
Listen,
fuck ton of dark side points generated on top of that.
you're the ones that wanted to beat up Brawl when he was connected to those statues, okay? Look, Brawl's just here at this point.
We didn't want to beat up Rawl when he was connected to those statues. We wanted to beat up the things that he was connected to, and we didn't know that he was connected to the statues.
Brawl's not convinced that Guy was also just wanting to do it for fun. So
That's fair. That is entirely fair. All right, on with chlorophyll. So our options are either the quote forbidden chamber or something that is potentially some type of nest. And
Which, I mean, your fears are already partially confirmed with the sudden loss of the surveillance droid that guy had sent down there.
right. So Chav's going to kind of look around. I mean, in terms of like weapons, Chav has a holdout blaster.
Mhm.
And he knows that, or he's pretty certain that Rawl runs heavy. But I don't know what kind of stuff Ego has with them.
Oh, nothing. like nothing. Otherwise, I have a light pistol. That's
Short
Not
range
like
only.
and a vibroblade. That's like
Hey, a vibroblade. That's a thing.
And then you guys have 2 beam drills at your disposal as well, but those are also very short range.
Like
beam drills
engage
that
range.
the researchers are carrying.
The Crypt
Okay.
Chasers, they have 2 beam drills that they use for excavation.
Okay.
What actually is there? Is it short range, like
It's
by definition?
close, I think. Where is my one shot? Wait, do I have it?
Engaged.
I think it's short range because it does produce an energy beam. It doesn't go out that far.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
I'm not expecting this thing to be like extreme or any bullshit. That'd be crazy. But just mechanically trying to think about it, because like the whole I got short range because of the holdout blaster. And then everything else that I have is engaged. So, which I guess isn't too bad of a thing if we're going to be in tunnels and stuff like that.
yeah.
So
Secret
probably-
tunnel.
Probably not going to have a what's it called? Like have to snipe anything from super far away.
You're
So-
you're muted, Ego. You're double muted. Yeah.
no. That's just me saying we're gonna fucking die.
I
So-
mean, we don't know how old these tunnels are. We don't know what's down here. We don't know if there's a whole civilization down here. So
No, this still doesn't sound good, homie.
So
what got our options?
okay, the beam drill is a engaged ranged weapon, cumbersome of 4, so you need at least a brawn of 4 to wield it without any setbacks.
Oh well, here goes that.
And increases the difficulty of a combat check by 1 to use it, and it has an automatic threat generated in combat checks as well.
Okay.
Damn. So it's not ideal for combat, which I guess makes sense for its intended design. And you guys would have been very aware of this when you were sent to rescue the miners back during the Debts to Pay one shot that you guys started this campaign with.
Wait. Oh, okay, never mind. Nope, as you were. Continue.
So, before we go any further, let's go ahead and introduce our... What is this? What happened to my... Oh, wait. Game table.
What's
There we go.
going on here?
Let's go ahead and introduce our luck points for the day. So if you would, please roll your wonderful little luck points. Oh, starting off strong there, Rawl. Way to go, buddy.
Yeah, you can't ever count on Raw rolling life side tokens. Not his job.
Hey, look at that. An even balance to the force. We love to see it.
We want to roll for our missing clientele.
Tough talk from the guy who said that gray Jedi don't exist. Anyway,
They
Numerous
don't.
occasions.
because they don't.
Stop it.
Do or do not, there is no try. You don't get to be a gray Jedi. Ooh, look at me, rhyming like Yoda.
Enough of that. Quitting the campaign.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daddy Tarzan.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna start my rap career as little Yoda.
Please don't. For everybody's sake.
You know?
All right.
right.
Get back in scene.
Yeah. We're playing a game.
So, what are we feeling? No one's
Well-
dirty Harry. Do you feel lucky, punk?
no, I don't.
Do you?
Chev would speak up as we're trying to like decide, well, shit, which way are we going to try to take out of this place? And he's going to go, I don't know about you, but I'm looking at this situation here. We either have this forbidden chamber, which has who knows what kind of traps or giant dog-like creatures or massive angry ghosts of Sith Lords past, and who knows what else could be there, or we know that there's probably going to be something that's going to try to eat us in the nest looking tunnels. Something, the dark side, you know.
Well, I and the rest of the chasers. This is Sindhu, Sindhu, the artifact analyst. Blue-skinned Rhodian sheepishly walks up to you guys as you're having this discussion. We're not equipped to take on creatures in large scale. I think the tomb would be the more ideal situation.
So you're equipped to handle ghosts.
Well,
Because we
help.
had to do that, and some of us almost fucking died. In
Not-
fact, one of your guys turned into pudding, remember?
yes. We can help identify. We can help identify any indications of traps. They usually have some sort of tells for themselves to be able to navigate these tunnels safely. We are experienced in those, in the nature of tombs, so it would be safer to take the route through the tomb.
You know, you're right. You are kind of adept at looking for traps and other kind of things that might pop out in here. You did a bang up job yesterday when I was surrounded by the undead.
We didn't have time to investigate. You were already dealing with apparitions of the Force, and then you rushed into the tomb without any preemptive checking. How were we supposed to stop that?
Okay, I can see where this is going. Preemptively.
Let me just get in here real quick.
Both people trying to get between Chav and Cindy because Chav's getting ornery.
Right. Rawl, for the past, like, while everyone was discussing, Rawl was kind of analyzing the collapsed ceiling and trying to see if there's any kind of opening towards the top. Maybe he could kind of dig his way out there.
So you guys are nowhere near the entry point where the antechamber is. You guys went in deeper underground to hopefully shield yourself from the impact of the collapsing tomb. So
How
some of the
far
tunnel,
away?
you guys are about 10, 15 feet in, and the area that you went down, because the section that those three doors went down into, it was a hallway that was originally designed. You guys went down into the burrowed out tunnel and went in there. That whole hallway collapsed in.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Raw would have seen that on the way in, so yeah, he would have known that that's the whole tunnel. Even if we could tunnel out, that would take a while. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to take at least 2 weeks to get out of this thing safely.
At the mention of this is not what we do, we're not equipped to handle these things, Raw kind of steps up to the researcher. Right. Even if we do go through the tombs, even if we do take this long circuitous route that we know nothing about, these creatures are still in here with us. They're still unknown as to how many there are. And after this loud catastrophe, anything within 100 kilos has now been awoken. And will come looking and will be hungry. So I think you better get ready to deal with what is coming. Or we're all going to die down here.
Yul Bakar, a Chagrian, the Chagrian archaeologist. Sorry, the four pointed horns protruding from its head, Leku-like growths extending downward from the back of the skull. I don't think remaining in one spot for long is ideal. We need to move soon. If this one says is true, they will be on us, and this is not the safest. Being cornered with our backs against the wall is not ideal. We could at least fortify ourselves in a more spacious area.
On that we could agree. Now, I have the skills necessary to build those fortifications. I need you. And he points slowly, looking around the group of the researchers. You all keep yourselves alive. I can't watch all of your backs. Keep your head on a swivel while we travel down here.
Zeke and Hondura have been kind of positioning themselves further down the corridor with their excavation drills in hand. They seem poised to be ready to defend themselves, but they definitely are shaken. This is not their expertise, but they're willing to help. But they're going. You get a sense that they're probably going to rely on your guys taking the charge in fights.
Chav's gonna look at the rest of them that do not have beam drills, and just say, kind of point to their packs or anything else that did get dragged this far down with us, and just go, if it's sharp or if it's heavy, put it in your hands.
They all seem reluctant to do so, but they follow your lead, and they all pick up something that some of them pick up things that you can definitely tell that they're not going to be able to effectively use in a fight. And you're like, no, you need something that is more wieldy. Pick up something like this, and you grab like an ancient Sith war sword, war blade, or one of them picks up the shield, and you're not carrying it around. You left it with them, right?
You had to leave it with them, and they did bring it down.
Never been explicitly stated. The only thing that I know is Rawl has the holocron. That's it.
This is true.
So the other one, one tries to carry the shield, and it's like hulking for them, and they set that down. Like, no, that's not a great idea. But yeah, they all pick up some various instruments or tools that they can use in a desperate attempt of self-defense.
So, anything else? All the other artifacts and stuff. Are they leaving them there?
No, they're going to try and, unless you guys tell them otherwise, they're going to try and bring the artifacts with them. Otherwise,
Is it slowing us down?
Yeah, they got to pick up all this gear, but they luckily were able. It's not. They're all each able to carry the equipment that was brought down with them, because they picked up one item each that they would be able to rescue from the collapse. So it's not like encumbering, but they do travel at a slower pace than you guys.
Well, do they travel slower normally, or is this weighing them down? Like you said, they're not encumbered, but they're slower.
You get a sense
if I need to tell them to ditch some shit.
You get a sense that they're being delicate with the artifacts. They don't want to jumble it around in transport because they don't want to get damaged and whatnot. So they are traveling slower as caution in reference of these artifacts.
Is the person carrying the Katorsh's shield struggling how heavy it is?
No, they strapped it to their back. So they kind of have like an armored back now, but which gave them free opportunity to carry something else with their hands.
Okay, well, if they aren't visibly struggling, then Rawl will just let that fly. Might as well have extra protection for them anyway. So,
but yeah, you guys do know that you guys have a significant distance to travel. Which, as you're watching them trying to carry this stuff, you get a sense that they're probably going to need frequent breaks during this travel with all this gear. So it's whether or not you guys are willing to deal with those breaks or not.
Okay. How many avenues do we have before us? It's just the tunnel right now?
Currently one tunnel, yes. There is a juncture about a mile in that does fork off. That Chav is intimately acquainted with, as he got lost down that tunnel.
It's okay. I have a map
That
now.
looks familiar.
But you know, taking a trip down the right tunnel is the tunnel that takes you to the Forbidden Chamber.
Okay. Can I attempt to see along the ground, maybe along the cave wall, if there's been any more recent indications that something has passed through this tunnel before?
Do we have survival? Let's see.
And
Yeah, we
have
do.
Super tracker to remove any setback die, at least one setback die at the very least.
All right, give me a
Assistance on this. Could I give him a boost die?
yes. Give me an average survival check, por favor. 3 failures to beat. Shit.
Coming hard out the gate. All right.
It's okay. I believe in you. It's all right. We got this.
I do not. I have 2
You got-
dice.
It's hey, you know what? And you have a boost die, and you have a boost die. This could happen. We got this. Hey,
You're right.
You know, Oz, I got you. It's all right. Believe
Mm.
in. All right, you didn't do it this time, but maybe next time, homie.
As you're looking around, there's no recent indications. You do see the occasional splattering of blood from your being dragged down here hours before. The blood at this point has dried and is beginning to peel away as you guys step over it, but no recent indications of traffic.
Okay. Trespass.
Lily is slandering me, and you know what? It's just a little moment where she's just kind of, just a little worked up, losing her head about the situation.
You guys go ahead and let's all get a perception check from everyone as you guys make your way down the tunnels. This will be a hard difficulty.
Does it matter that we have however many glow rods? I have at least one.
This is more of a sound-based perception check.
Oh, booty.
Mother of gods. Why?
Okay. So only Ego catches this.
Hey,
Got this.
I have two. I have 2 successes.
That does not beat 2 failures, 2
Oh,
threats.
you're right. That's how math works. I'm gonna shut up and put myself on mute.
I'd say, Ego, you're kind of acutely more aware of the situation that you seem to have found yourselves in. You're still muted. You double muted yourself. There you go.
Yeah, I'm very paranoid. I'm very paranoid. This is a terrible situation. Why am I here? It's crime, like objective. Like, what's going on? How do I get out of this?
So I'd say you'd probably be leading the trek a little bit and trying to find the safest way out, or at least one behind the leader. And you're listening. You have all of your senses dialed up to 10 without having to resort to force abilities, right?
This is correct.
Okay, cool.
The force right now, Tarzan. I don't know why. I'm using the force in this situation.
Just making sure. I mean, didn't know if you wanted to try and risk bringing more force-hungry creatures down here.
No, it has crossed my mind. Thanks.
Go sitting here like, you know what'd be great if we played on hard mode.
All right, let me tap to the force real quick.
So you're using your innate abilities without having to extend yourself through the Force to avoid any more altercations with creatures that feed on the Force. There's a unique feature about Twi'leks with their ear cones that allows them to pick up on reverberations. Their ear cones are more sensitive to vibrations, and this is probably why you're able to pick up on the faintest sounds of what sounds like claws on stone. That faint. It sounds as if something's like casually burrowing or crawling on stone. It's very far away, as far as you can tell, but at this, what's your level of success? Let's see. You got the 2 threats canceled out your advantages, so you just get the 1 success. So yeah, you're not able to determine if it's moving away or coming closer, but you are able to pick up on this very faint sounds of claw on stone.
I think Ego is going to turn around to because he's kind of close to the front, and just kind of scratching like Ego's had it, like he's fully had it, just like,
Get me out of here. Why am I here?
ahead of us there is something burrowing, digging, scratching. Not entirely sure. Does not seem to be aware of us just yet. I would like to maintain that. I don't know how big it is or small it is. In fact, I don't care anymore.
Look,
I'm letting people with guns and axes know about the situation ahead. That's my purpose right now.
Ego is a vibe.
to be or not to be, there is no try.
This makes no sense right now, Rob.
No.
I'm trying. In fact, I tried too much. What's the problem?
You're gonna hear her first, folks. Don't try ever. Just stop. When
Just
you try,
lie down
you
and
succeed.
wait for that.
and shit happens.
While the party is trekking, Rawl is utilizing the skills that he learned while he and his brother were tacked on with the rebels, and is just leading the back, and he's walking backwards as he's scanning behind them. So that's why he failed the check.
That's fair. I would say, Chav, you're probably keeping more of your focus on the scans to track where you're going and make sure you guys aren't getting lost in the tunnels again. So, oops, headbutt. Yeah, as Ego brings this to your attention, how do you guys proceed? I'll say, if the Crypt Chasers continue to travel with all this bulking gear on them, they'll probably have to. You guys will probably have to travel with a couple sets of setback die, because that shit is clunky.
What if I, with my impressive brawn, took the shield? Would that even out the...
What's your encumbrance threshold at? Actually, it doesn't affect your encumbrance if you're wielding it. It only affects yeah, if you're wielding weapons or clothing, it does not affect your encumbrance. It's only if you're carrying it.
Okay.
I was unaware of this.
Unless I'm remembering incorrectly. Let's see. Let's do a little test here.
It
That's
does adjust to a point. It's not like flat out it doesn't count.
Yeah, so if a weapon has an innate encumbrance rating, then like if it says it in the item quality, it's an cumbersome of 4, that negates the offset. So cumbersome 4 means you have to have a brawn rating of whatever, a brawn rating of 4 to be able to carry it without any penalties. So on and so forth. But yeah, so Rawl, you should be able to carry this thing without any issues. But it's more of the crates that these individuals are carrying that will be more of an issue for the group if you guys continue proceed quietly using by way of stealth.
Okay. Well, Raw would still offer to carry the shield, knowing what it is, and knowing that Catorsis is in fact a heavy, dense material, and they need as much as possible. Raw would offer to see if.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say probably Zeke had the shield. One of the excavation team members. He's the Kyuzo individual with the bright yellow eyes, a respirator mask, deep blue skin. He stands about like 7'2", lanky but athletic build. He sees you offering to take the shield. He does seem a little apprehensive, as he was feeling a little more protected by the shield, but seeing that you are more of a capable warrior than he is, he relinquishes it to you.
Well,
He kind of does like retreat behind you at that point. Like,
well, I mean, I'm still walking backwards, so I mean, I guess behind but in front.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I get. It would be at least you're keeping an eye on him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Also, small question: critical injury stinger from the last session. It had been healed but not cured. Is that still a thing?
Yes, you need to do I believe that's an easy medicine check to recover from that.
Can I roll that now?
Go ahead.
While we're trying to figure out which direction we're going, what we're trying to do. Medicine. Boop.
Okay.
2 successes, 1 advantage.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and feel free to remove the stinger condition.
Dope.
All right. You guys.
Are we moving any better?
Well, his head isn't ringing anymore, so yeah.
Well, no, I meant like the group, because you took a heavy
Oh.
fucking.
Unless you tell them to drop all the crates that they're carrying quietly, no, you guys are not moving any quieter than.
Removing the shield didn't help at all.
No, they're all carrying crates. What are you talking about?
So many crates.
Do we know if all of the crates are artifacts, or is some of that like?
They're
research
all.
equipment?
It's some of them has research equipment. The others have. There's like 1 or 2 crates that have ancient artifacts in it. There's one long crate that carries a Sith warblade from ancient time.
And that's not in somebody's hand.
Do you understand how old that Sith Warblade is?
Does
course
it have
not.
a point on it?
How good is that point going to be when it crumbles on its first use?
That's one use.
You're gonna have to convince them to that's worth the risk.
One use versus 0 uses of nothing.
I would guess just before stepping off, then Raw would have stepped up to Sindhu and said, if there's things like research equipment, picks, hammers, and things that you don't need that cannot assist, cannot help you defend, I recommend you relieve yourselves of them. They're going to be useless where we're going, and we'll find another way to replace those items for you. If there's any digging equipment, I suggest hanging on to those. However, anything else, yes, I would dispose of them.
All right, Chases. Drop all gear. Activate the GPS beacons on the crates. For reacquisition at a later time. And you watch as the Crypt Chasers all set down their crates, reaching under or lifting up the lids. You'll see some computers that they use for scanning, geological nodes for later research, so on and so forth. And underneath the capsule or the lid, you'll see them flip a switch, and a green light begins to pulsate as they shut the lid once more and lock the crate, letting you know that the beacons have been activated and should help reacquire that. Gondor calls for aid. crossing streams, crossing genres.
Bless. Okay.
With that, they pick up their various digging instruments, hammers, chisels, so on and so forth. Any implementation that's sharp or hard enough to inflict damage, and they begin to cautiously proceed forward with the rest of you. At this time, I will need a hard stealth check with only 2 setback die. You managed to convince them to drop all their gear, so that would have been a hard difficulty with a challenge of 2 with 2 setback die. Instead, it's just a hard difficulty with a challenge of 2. Or not a challenge of 2, with a setback of 2.
The additional setback die.
Yes, I got them rolled now. You have 4 failures, 1 threat to beat.
God.
Whoo!
Impossible for me. What can I do?
Fail?
No.
This is more of a group effort, so it's more of a success rate versus failure rate. So
Hey,
amount of
don't
success.
one of you guys have something that helps your stealth things?
It's a force power. Do you
I
want
think
me
he's
to-
talking to
That
yeah.
guy who literally spent like his
Stealth suit.
entire first paycheck on a stealth suit that I think he's used once.
Yes.
That gives you like 2 boost dice.
I literally have to disrobe in order to use it.
This is survival, homie. You have to be naked to use it, like the
It's
Invisible Man?
it's a skin suit. It's not like
The skin suit, and then I have to pull the hood up in order to activate it. However, do you have a backpack? All right, fine. I mean, I did fail the check. I did fail the check. Okay. Yeah, Raul's gonna stuff his heavy clothing into the backpack, which means he's -1 soak, and I will roll 2 boost die in order to try and see if I can get this. And I got 3. Okay,
Oh, he beat the check.
No, it's a 4 successes. That doesn't beat it.
That's how math works, and now you have to put yourself. No, I'm kidding.
I thought I saw a success on there. That was my bad.
Wait,
You
no, there was a success. There is a success on there.
There is.
You do have more advantages, however, which will grant you some. I will count that as a success, because this is more of a group success check as opposed to a fail or success, like a individual success or fail.
Could I
Okay.
donate my 2 advantages to Ego? So that not as bad?
Like I still fail. It was
Right.
from 2 to 3.
But in the law of averages, if we get another success for you, then it's, only down by 1 rather than down by 2.
Mhm. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Anything to keep you from saying there's a snake in my boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. We can do that.
You
We can do that. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yep. All right, cool. Overall, you guys are traveling relatively quiet. There's the occasional blunder that you see one of the crypt chasers about to trip over a stone. Raul, you turn and spot him just in the nick of time as he begins to stumble, and you get a sense that he's probably going to yell out if he does fall. And you just brace him on the chest to stop him from falling. And
No, he grabs him by the back of the collar like a freaking cat. He's about to start face planting. He's just like, ugh. So
there
it's
you
almost
go.
like he's like 40 degrees ready to fall, and all of a sudden just stops falling.
Yeah, you catch Lim Scavar, the photographer. I would say he was probably in the midst of taking some pictures of the various carvings that you guys do pass as you make your way through the tunnel. And he's taking photographs, and then he just stumbles and catch him mid-fall. Sorry about that. Thank you. Good, sir.
I would put that away. I don't think anything down here is necessary for photography. Your survival is more important than a few pictures. We can always come back later, maybe, hopefully, with more people. Put the camera away.
Fair enough. And yeah, he puts the camera aside and picks up the instruments that he was given to use as self-defense, and continues walking.
All right, guys, we did it. Now we just
Camera
need to do it
was-
100 times.
You guys travel for a good hour and a half before finally you see the tunnel. An hour and a half down the right tunnel before you see the tunnel end, and the chamber begins to open up to you guys as you identify this as the entryway into the Forbidden Chamber. And as you spot this, your initial response is to quicken your pace, but knowing what lurks off in the distance, thanks to Ego's sharp perception skills, you steady your nerves and continue at the same quiet pace, and arrive at the Forbidden Chambers. The same 4 towering statues of the 4 Dark Lords of the Sith standing interposed between you and the door at the north end of this chamber. An altar of sorts at the center of it all as well still resides there. Blank slate, nothing indicative of anything but as you look around the chamber, the braziers that were extinguished relight once again upon entry with the same green flames. So at this point, Ego, give me a hard discipline check. Yeah, I'm rolling good today.
Can you fucking not?
All right. Oof. Oh no. Oh no. Ego, you spot these statues of these Dark Lords. And as you enter into this chamber, you begin to hear whispers. And you're already on edge as is, and as your attention is drawn to the doorway at the center of the chamber with these 4 Dark Lords standing in between you and that door with their arms outstretched with a palm facing you as if to ward you away, your immediate reaction is to vacate this chamber right away.
I do so. Like, it's not a question. I think Ego gets a few steps in, and this happens, and then just immediately backpedals, like doesn't even turn around, just starts moving back out of the room.
So I'd probably
Does he have to like pass Jav to do that?
I was at the front, so I think yeah.
Like, as you kind of like start backpedaling and stuff, and like turn to go, like Jav's gonna put a hand, which is like, hey, should we all be running? What's going on?
You don't feel that.
Nope.
Why don't you tell me what you're feeling, and I'll tell you if I'm feeling the same thing you're feeling.
You know, while we were outside, when
Didn't mean. Sorry.
it's fine. When outside was still an accessible thing that we could have, Raul asked me, I think as a joke, if I was afraid of the Force. Now, I'm not like him or his brother. They have the abilities beyond what I have. But what I do have is instinct. And all of the instincts in me are telling me not to be in here right now. That's what I'm feeling.
Well,
And as you're looking at Ego, his pupils are dilated. He's beginning to sweat feverishly. These are all signs of deep dread or fear upon entry into this tomb or chamber.
well, if having a feeling in this moment that you shouldn't be in this spot right now means that you are in touch with the Force, well, I guess that means that I'm a Jedi fucking master. So the thing is, we go back, we're just dead. We go forward, we might be dead, but we also might make it out of here. So it don't matter to me what Rawl can do. It don't matter to me what Oho could do. It matters to me what Ego is going to do.
Chavista, you might be right. Also, can you just hold on to my arm? Because I can't guarantee that I'm not going to leave. It's going to turn away from me.
Yeah, sure. I got this exo glove. It's tell me if it's too tight, because quite literally, it's for loading and unloading freight and shit like that. So be very gentle, but
Perfect.
gentle but firm.
Thank you. Just need Chav to have Ego's upper arm in a vice. That's all.
Quite literally. And if you slip away from me, it has a hook shot, so I can pull you.
Get over here.
Quite literally.
Oh man, I love it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we're going through a tomb of death, and meanwhile, there's freaking Ego and Chav just walking,
Holding
on.
hands, being the best of friends.
So I just need something to hold on to. It's not myself right now.
I don't feel safe in here. Okay. That being said, Rawl, as you trail up behind the rest of the group and enter the chamber, you too begin to hear the whispers reverberating through the halls. Again, this is the same whispers that you've heard prior to entering this chamber. One set of whispers warding you away, but there's a singular enticing voice that is trying to draw you wanting you to come to the door. The rest of the crew begins to spread out throughout the chamber as this is their first time entering in. Lim went right back to taking photos again as he's enamored with this place. The archaeologist, Yol, begins to... Go ahead.
Are the two glow rods that Rawl had thrown out earlier when they were first here, are they still lit? Are they still here?
They are still there. What's the lifespan on the glow rods?
I don't think that's in the job description that I was given.
11 billion cycles.
Yep, that's what we're going to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They run on uranium.
Fusion energy.
Light illuminate objects at respectable ranges.
Let's
I don't.
It's actually a
know.
perpetual energy source.
It's literally a nuclear fusion reactor, just tiny in the palm of your hands, you know?
Yeah. We picked it up at the Home Depot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Glow tube, glow light. Glow rods were about 6 centimeters long, shaped like styluses, weighed about 20 grams, had clips that could be used to attach them to clothing or belts. These glow rods could operate for up to 50 hours. And the light from them could reach up to 20 meters. Pretty cool. So 50 hours. When was the last time you were in this chamber? A couple days ago? So probably not. Yesterday?
We've had one rest.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, they're still glow. Still in the same place you left, Matt.
Sweet. Second thing, as the group had stopped at the mouth of the entrance, and Rawl's hearing these voices, Rawl is going to pull out the holocron to see if there's any reaction from being here. Now that it's away from its pedestal up above, and now it's down here, is there any difference? Preferably not negative.
The holocron does not seem to be reacting to the chamber. However, are you
Choice.
doing anything with the to interact with this?
Not the fuck down here, I'm not.
Okay. Then no, there is no notable difference to. Actually,
All right.
yeah, no, there's no notable difference to the Holocron.
Swear to God, Tarzan. I will.
Gotta fuck with you a little bit.
Okay.
Actually, give me. No, I'm joking.
roll it.
But yeah, the holocron appears to be inert as you hold it up to see if it reacts in any way. However, you do take notice of Ego seeming to be in a panicked state.
Panic is a strong word. Like,
A
significantly
fugue?
uncomfortable. A fugue. I'm not in a fugues. I am just considerably discomforted by the situation and require assistance in the form of Chad holding onto my arm.
What I'm here for.
Okay. Are you all already moving out into the chamber?
Yeah, we're just gonna Viennese waltz right out there. No, let them do their thing. They're the freaking crypt chasers. They're gonna make sure that this shit doesn't blow up on us, right? Right.
One would hope. That being said, they're going to go ahead and do a quick preliminary scan of Zetum.
Yeah, can they use the deactivate all the kill mode stuff on this tomb, please?
Kill switch disengage, please. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
I think that's a skill that they all get, like with very minimal
you.
experience.
Since birth,
points.
actually.
Yeah, they were born with it, and it's not Maybelline.
Let's use the debts to pay crew. We'll take the Oradell of Miners. You got a count of how many bodies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 remaining minions.
Wouldn't it just be hilarious if they just all died?
It would.
I mean, maybe, but hey, then we're not moving as slow. Jav isn't going to leave them behind, nor is he going to do anything to jeopardize them. But if it happens,
I'll give them 2 boost die because of their experience in this environment. Let's see how they do.
why don't you just give them 2 more as a treat? Hey!
We'll be pocketing that triumph, thank you.
All right, with 2 successes. No, you need the. Oh no, you don't need the triumph.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, since you rolled the negatives, it's already calculated together. So that's 2 successes.
4. Okay, so -2. So yeah, 2. Yeah, you can pocket that triumph. Look at that.
Look at that.
Okay. It's too bad it's my fucking NPC. I'm joking.
Hail.
Hold my blaster at his forehead, and I say, hand over the triumph now.
Khaleesi, the conservator, she, the moon individual. I forget what moons look like. Give me 1 second. There we go. They look like, oh yes, the banking clan species. Tall, lanky individuals, elongated cranial skulls, thin frame. Khaleesi is reading over the inscriptions on the walls of this chamber. It seems, I suppose it would be apparent that this is a warning tomb or chamber of sorts to keep pirates or grave robbers at bay. They speak of something of plague-like nature. Consumes all life. Something Something not easily killed. Quite fascinating. But I believe from these markings, this is just a preliminary chamber. That there may be further chambers inside that will possibly house alternate routes. From the signs here, there are multiple deterrents to keep those from going further. So, this is just the one of many.
Alrighty, gotcha. Yeah, really quick. To everybody here, I would like to revisit a conversation from earlier when we were talking about what I am and am not capable of shooting, and plague is not on the list of things I can shoot.
I'm sorry. It's kind of strange. It speaks of one person, but I've never seen any person that could afflict on such a grand scale a plague-like events. These hieroglyphs speak of unimaginable power.
One person inflicting a bunch of plague on a bunch of people. Clearly, you've never seen Rawl after dinner. So,
the archaeologist. I am struggling to say these words today. The archaeologist, Yol. He's the Chargan, yes. From the looks of this, if what Conservator Galicius says it's true, there's possible other entry points and exit points as well, if we go further inside. So, do not let this preliminary warning sign deter you. If we go further in, we should find another way out.
alrighty, sounds good. You guys are the experts. I'll believe you. And Tarzan, does the ISB Naval Flight Suit helmet come with a rebreather?
Do you have the helmet?
I have it with me. I'm not wearing it.
You would know that the breathing apparatus that comes with the suit only functions as long as there is a sealed environment. So you would require both the helmet and the face mask in order to effectively use it as a filtration device. But it doesn't exactly function as a filtration device per se. However, you could probably try to make alterations to it to try and facilitate that. But it only really functions as like a as a source of forced oxygen in what's it called? In the cockpits of oh wait, no, it's a sealed suit. So in case you do get ejected into space, you can survive for a limited amount of time. So yeah, never mind. I'm thinking of fighter jets. So yes, it would function as a independent source of oxygen.
Yeah, nonchalantly, Chav's gonna put his helmet on.
Yeah, you guys all watch as he puts his helmet on. Do you put the breath mask on yet, or are you waiting for any signs? Because it does have a limited source of oxygen, but
once that door opens.
okay. You do see that all the crypt chasers have begun congregating near the door. Some of them are taking notes. Lim taking photos. Neela registering all the epitaphs of the Dark Lords, categorizing them. Zeke and Honduras kind of inspecting the threshold of the door, making sure that if they do proceed to open the door, it doesn't trigger anything, so on and so forth. But where are you guys in relation to them?
As far the fuck away as I can be, and I think that Ego agrees. We're like chilling by the door that we walked in originally, just like, you guys can do your thing over there. I'm helping.
I'm keeping watch.
Yeah. Some might come up over. Yeah, Ego, just you look over there, I look over here. Yeah.
Mind you, going forward, Ego, all checks you conduct from this point on will be accompanied with 2 setback die while you're in the state of fear. That being said,
Great, because I was doing so well before.
I think it's 2 setback. Let me double check. I might be punishing you too much. Let's see. Let's look for the fear section. That's going to be the GM section, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There we go. Nope. GM, there we are. All right, show me the fear. There we are. You had a hard difficulty. You failed that. Very afraid. Okay. Knowing that the DM had setback. Just 1 setback, sorry. One setback to each action a character takes during this time. All right.
Lovely. Well, I can still be charming.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just talk the pants off of one of these force apparitions that you guys will encounter. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Listen, I'll try anything at this point.
All right. Let's go ahead and have them do a skullduggery check. No, they're not breaking through. I need them to... I guess this would still count as their perception check to investigate the door. So we can still work with that. However, the door does not open easily, so they will have to use their athletics to open the door. Let's give that another hard rating also, but they will get a boost die because they have multiple people helping them.
So you remember that scene in the beginning of The Mummy where they open a door and then it blasts them full of acid? This is what I picture right now.
That's why we are as far away from this door as we can be. Like, there's too many movies where anything could go wrong. The hallway in the Resident Evil movies. Like,
look at that check. That is a good check. Another triumph.
How big is this door?
It's about a 10-foot tall door. I'd say about 5 feet wide. It's a big stone door. And you see Honduras and Zeke pressing up against it. Lim is gonna get in there too because he's only like 5'4", so he's able to squeeze in between the two of them to try and get some lower leverage. The 3 of them just kind of push on the door, and you just as they're pushing into the door, you can hear the grinding of stone slightly shift it for a moment, and the door begins to crawl open as they force it open with the. And as the door breaks its seal for the first time in thousands of years, a sudden flood of dust rushes out from the doorway, encapsulating them all. And the wall of dust rushes out towards you. Chap throws up his face visor, sealing the environment around in his suit, allowing him to breathe normally. However, the rest of you, you guys can all hear the Crypt Chasers coughing feverishly. Go ahead and give me, the two of you, what would this be?
Rawl has a breath mask. Don't know if that matters.
He didn't say you had it currently equipped before opening the door.
Right. However, I will say that Rawl had positioned himself behind the Crypt Chasers as they're opening it, double fisting the shield.
Give me Rawl and Ego a vigilance check to see if you can react before as this dust wall is rushing towards you.
Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask.
Not too hard. However, Ego, you do have a setback die to your vigilance. Which would be...
Do you
Here
want
we
me to-
are. I got it. You still succeed. Good for you. Look at that.
Thank God.
Okay. You guys all both are able to react before the wall of dust envelops you. So I'm guessing that would mean, Rawl, you're donning your respirator.
Yes.
Okay. Ego, what are you doing? Just holding your breath, or? Yeah. Okay. You take your draw in your last breath of fresh air before you're enveloped in this dust. As the wall of dust rushes towards you, the green lit flamed braziers all extinguish. Braziers. There we go. All extinguished. The chamber goes dark, and all senses go numb in this moment, except for touch, as you feel the dust settling on your skin, creating a slick sensation of mud on the surface of your skin from coagulating with the beads of sweat on your skin. For a moment, it's just nothing but pure darkness. But then a low-level red light emits from the threshold of the door as you see the silhouettes of your fellow Crypt Chasers further in, coughing, waving dust from their face, proceeding deeper inside the chamber. This bright red light seemingly welcoming you deeper in, or warning you away. You all watch as the Crypt Chasers enter into the chamber. Now you all just feel dirty.
As they're entering, Rawl's gonna shimmy over to the dropped glow rod over there in the corner, or one of them, and he'll toss it into the chamber ahead of them.
Okay.
Chad will double check with Ego, just make sure, you good?
Ego looks at you and his eyes are just like the rims of them are red from trying to protect himself against dust, and he looks so annoyed at being this dusty right now. Otherwise, it's fine.
The dust, that's an added layer of discomfort, as well as the musty, stale air that now overtakes the chamber. This chamber is very apparently been sealed for several thousands of years, and the air definitely smells like it's been. It's very. I'm not talking to you. My computer was like, "Oh, you said Siri." Didn't say it. Nope. Okay. But yeah, as the dust finally settles, Chav, your suit is dusty. However, you are, you're sweaty underneath, but you're not feeling slick with grime, at least.
Chav shakes the dust off of his cloak and then uses that to wipe the dust off the lenses of his mask. Before
Well played.
before heading or escorting Ego towards where everybody's going.
All right. As you're heading in, Rawl said you said you're throwing a glow rod further into the chamber. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you look further inside the chambers.
Sure, I can do that.
Cash in a dark side token to upgrade to a challenge.
How dare you?
Really? You must.
It's not like it's that hard to beat.
Terrible. Wait, what is that setback die for? Hang on.
What kind of check are you doing?
Perception. Hunting goggles. Oh, hang on. This is.
It would be helpful if you put notes into what your stuff did.
I know it would, wouldn't it? Yeah. That's what this is. That's what I thought. Okay, so yeah, he's wearing the hunting goggles. So -2 setback die. There it is.
Nice.
All right, guys, we got 3 triumphs on board. Let's make it count.
I need you to chill out with those triumphs.
Don't you tell me.
You peer inside using your goggles. Give me a quick description of how those goggles function, real quick.
Well, I can read you the description if you would like.
Go ahead.
Can you?
Can? No, I can't read. I'm lying. Hunting goggles are a kind of scanner specifically designed to assist professional guides, hunters in tracking their quarry, along with the usual light amplification and thermal imaging sensors found in most scanner goggles. Hunting goggles are equipped with an image magnification and enhancement system, a short-range motion detector, and a targeting system, and micro heads-up display that projects aiming reticules and targeting information into the wearer's field of vision.
Okay.
So, yeah. A lot of shit that it could do.
Thermal, you say? All right. You peer inside, switching to your various field of visions. As you switch to your thermal, you spot the glowing heat coming from the glow rod itself as it produces light for the chamber it now resides in further ahead. The chamber that you're currently standing in, or at least the threshold of the chamber, leads into a descending hallway, a staircase, and you look. You toss. It opens up into another, what appears to be possibly another chamber, and you throw the glow rod up ahead into that doorway to see what you can spot. And you use your thermal vision to identify the glow rod, and then you look further in. And it's nothing but blue. Then you switch to night vision. It's nothing but green and gray. You switch to motion detection. And you spot a wavering wisp of web off in the corner. Long, decayed, but still hanging on to the stone. Seems to be clear.
I'm gonna zoom in on the webbing. Can I determine how old it looks? Or, well, this is just motion detection, so I would have to actually go in there and look at it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Seeing the webbing, though, Rawl's going to just peek his head inside and look up. How tall is the ceiling inside?
It's a vaulted ceiling, about 15 feet tall at its highest peak. This one seems to be more of a... This chamber seems to be more of a story chamber. It has more depictions of this one warrior, and it seems to tell each a story of each major conflict this warrior has been involved in. And it seems to... Go ahead.
Does this warrior seem uncannily similar to the guy who crushed an entire army that Rawl had seen in the vision that given by Darth Bane?
The vision that Darth Bane gave you, you weren't able to get a clear picture of, if I recall. You just saw the back of him as he faced down an army.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he saw like the armor that he was wearing and stuff like that, and if he had any weapons on him, using those descriptors, would any of that correlate to what he's seeing depicted above?
You would see this warrior wielding what appears to be two blades, whether or not they are lightsabers or some form of ancient blades or technology. You're not very sure, but there's a similar design in the facial features of this warrior. And as the rest of the crew enters in behind you, they all begin to disperse, cataloging all this information. But there's one epitaph that stands out to you the most, as it bears a striking resemblance to your home, Dathomir. And you swear you've seen the mountain depicted in the background of this epitaph. The trees, you've climbed on. You're sure that you've climbed on one of those trees before. There seems to be some type of familiarity to this depiction, and he's seen standing over what appears to be a subjugated force or peoples. Or they stand either subjugated, or they're not stand. They kneel either in subjugation or in reverence, as he's touching the head of a Ratataki woman. And as you're taking in this vision, this epitaph, the registrar, Neela, approaches next to you. I believe this one's trying to say he would grant boons to those he deemed worthy. Grant them profane knowledge of the Force. I think he's giving what appears to be the early precursors of possibly the earliest settlements of Night Sisters. They're granting them their understanding of the Force.
Raw doesn't say anything back. In fact, he steps closer to the epitaph and places a hand on the tree that he had seen depicted. If anyone was watching his face and his reaction, you could probably see his eyes kind of redden up, and you could probably see like tears kind of forming there, but they don't fall. As he's recalling all of the childhood memories that he and his brother shared, and the climbing of that tree as they were hiding from their instructors. Do any of the depicted look similar to the Night Brothers and Sisters?
These seem to be precursors, if at all.
Okay.
So early settlers or some early versions of the Night Sisters and Brothers. If he's Neela doesn't say whether or not or is unable to confirm whether or not this individual is directly responsible for their connection to the Force, or if he's expanding their knowledge of the Force. She just knows that this individual seems to have some sort of influence or connection to them.
Okay. Raw is going to sniff, wipe his nose, and he's gonna pull out the wrist-mounted data pad and take a photo of that. I don't know if that's ability the data pad can do.
Yeah, some of them do. Data pads have capabilities of taking photos.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna do that. Does it look like it's depicting like a location, like of like a holy place or a sacred place?
Give me a. This would be not a xenology check. This is a knowledge check of sorts. Let's see. Lore check?
I'd go with lore.
What sector is Dathomir in?
The Outer Rim, I believe.
Sector. Outer Rim territories. Yep. Okay. So I'd say a formidable lore check or a daunting Outer Rim check. Your choice.
Well, seeing as how I already have a proficiency die in lore, that's what I'll go with.
Okay.
And I'm gonna balance out the force by taking an ability die or a force point.
Gotcha. Whew, 5 failures to beat.
I'm going to need it. Yeah, we fail. Good job.
I'll say with the he needs at least 4 triumphs in order to succeed.
Yeah, there's.
We only have 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna save those. We're gonna need them. So.
I would say with the one advantage that you do have remaining, you can't pinpoint it, but you get a sense that there is some sort of connection. That there has to be some kind of significant meeting. You just can't quite place it.
The figure that's depicted bestowing the whatever, what can Rawl recall if there's any documents or depictions that he has seen before in the small library that the Night Sisters had? Because most of their history is word of mouth, but some things I'm sure they've kept.
Yeah. I would say this probably would be still incorporated with your role. You don't recall any mention of some ancient being that bestowed your people with any type of power. There's been no mentioning of it, as far as you're aware.
Okay. All right. Ho is more the reader anyway, so.
Okay. This chamber seems to be linear for the moment. This just appears to be some type of story chamber to tell you what this person's affected so far and what he's capable of. It continues on further down to another set of stairs that descends further down. As you take a look at the map provided to you, everything past that forbidden chamber is unmapped, and when you get to the forbidden chamber in accordance to the map, it should be directly under the Valley of the Dark Lords, so dead center. But the direction that you're heading seems to be heading towards the center tomb at the far end of the Valley of the Dark Lords. So you get a sense that if there is an escape route, it's probably going to come from that tomb further in.
And double checking, because at the end of last session I said wherever we decide we're going, before we go deeper, that Chav was going to relay that to Dove.
Right.
Does that still line up with what we would have told Dove by looking at the map originally? Because we were kind of going off of Rawl kind of piecing together things, which he rolled really well on.
Right.
So does it seem like we're on track for that? Or
so far, yes. But you do know from this point on, communications has been spotty. So if you're going to make any communique, now's the time.
Well, that's why I was asking if this lines up with what we would have told her before we came down here.
Yes.
Because if it does, there's no need to try. All right, cool. We're still gonna show up at 4th and Lindbergh.
Yes. Still on track.
Okay.
So you guys continue to proceed further down this corridor.
Is it any better past the statues, or is it just worse?
The air has gotten heavier. The whispering has not stopped for you. Neither has it for Rawl. But it's becoming more... Instead of warning you away, it's telling you to turn back now.
Boy,
Rawl. I heard that. I wish I didn't, but I heard it. Rawl, the whisperings are telling you to turn back, but they seem to be quieted. Not as intense. It seems the further the deeper than you are now that into this this tomb, this forbidden tomb, you feel a little more welcomed.
That's not comforting. It's not comforting at all.
And taking into account the schematics that you've theorized with the layout of these tunnels, you'll be coming up on a junction that may possibly serve as a route out of this tomb. As the Crypt Chasers finish cataloging all the epitaphs in this chamber, I forgot to describe it in detail. This chamber itself is about a 20-foot wide by 60-foot long chamber. It's just a long story of what this person has been affecting over the millennia. There's a stark contrast to the level of technology that was available in each juncture of his influence. Going from primal weaponry and tools and implementations to very basic, generic armaments, blades, swords, armor, to projectile weaponry and suits, and to energy-based weapons and flight. As you're taking in all these stories, you get a sense that whoever this creature or warrior is, he's been and gone throughout the millennia. He seems to come and go. And you asked what's the most recurring features of this creature, and I forgot to mention the face always remains the same. His armor does change on occasion, or as the times grow more and more advanced, so does his armor. However, his blades stopped changing after the era of energy-based weapons. But the face is always recognizable. A long-haired humanoid individual with elongated fangs, tendrils that seem to protrude from the face, almost like a beard of flesh. The hair's always slicked back, kept back in a tight bun. This warrior stands towering over most people that he is depicted with, whether it be 2 or 3 inches taller than the others that he's pictured with. What that could translate to meaning is possibly 2 or 3 feet taller than most humanoids.
As the Crypt Chasers are wrapping up, 2 things. One, is there any depiction of like a cage kind of thing or any kind of holocron?
Not here, no. This seems to be just a chamber of his exploits, his
achievements and stuff.
His achievements, yes.
And do all of these epitaphs look like they're carved by the same person?
There's differences in the arts. They seem to change as time progresses. This tomb was not carved by the same person.
So it wasn't carved by this person. Awesome. Good. That's what. Good thing I don't want him to be here.
What makes you think he's not here? He's buried here. Forbidden tomb.
He's not buried here. He's caged here.
Same thing.
You guys proceed further down the corridors.
If I may, really quick,
Yes.
Is Ego's anxiety stagnant or growing?
I appreciate you reminding me of this. Ego, I need another fear check, bud.
Well,
That's
before he rolls, like
Uh-huh.
if it looks like it's getting worse, can I do a thing? Because I was planning on doing this anyway, just for flavor reasons. But now that you're imposing another roll, if I'm successful, this might if you like this might be a boost die situation. But if it looks like Ego is getting like more anxious the deeper that we go, quietly as to not like disturb the crypt chasers or alarm anybody else, I've canonized that Chav, when he's just like flying, especially in hyperlanes, will sing star shanties.
Ooh.
In particularly, I have canonized the ones by Rowan the Bard on YouTube. Yeah.
Are you gonna sing for us?
I don't know if I'm allowed to, because he is releasing these on like Spotify and stuff, so I don't want to like DMCA and stuff like that, because he does deserve all the things for this. But the one that he's going to be singing is a song titled Many a Parsec, and it is all about people who fly hyperspace lanes, stopping in different planets and ports and stuff, and the things that they do for recreation there and whom they do them with.
I like it.
I won't sing it, but I will read one little one, which he will definitely try to sing during all this. Which one is it? I gotta find it because I did look this one. Oh, I courted a lassie from old Mandalore. She left my poor body exhausted and sore. And that's the kind of like limericks that are all the way through this song. And it's just an attempt to bring levity so that not knowing that there's whispers going on in their head, but in this moment, Ego's focused on something else rather than impending dread.
Gotcha. I'll give you a boost die for that.
You're a generous god.
Okay. Boost die. I'm also going to use my charmer situation works like a charm,
Okay.
where I can make a skill check using presence instead of the characteristic linked to that, so that
Ooh,
4 instead of 3 for my discipline.
I like that.
So that's one more die, and then a boost die. And let's see if this works.
Fingers crossed, guys.
uh,
Okay. All right. So I'll give you that you're not in a full panic with the amount of advantages you still have. However, and it's thanks to Chav trying to bring some levity to the situation. Being in this chamber or in this tomb is not the most settling experience for anybody involved, except for the crypt chasers, who seem to be having an all right time dealing with this type of stuff. However, you will have another setback die to your ability checks because you failed the check again. Sorry, buddy.
Okay, buddy.
You almost had it. Oh wait, you still have a bunch of triumphs that you could cash in on.
Sure do.
I mean,
You just need 2 out of the 3 that you have. Or I think you got 4. No, you do have 4. So 2 out of the 4 you have.
I mean, I'm all right with 2 out of 4.
That'll get you a success and not accrue an additional setback die.
Yeah, if you're just racking up setback dies, you're going to be useless. We can't have that. You're muted.
Muted. You muted again.
No, it's just I don't know how much use ego is right now currently, but I appreciate that.
No,
Use
all right.
is better than no use. So,
Sure.
All right. So, with that, you succeed the check with 7 advantages. I don't know. You guys would have had a break to reduce your cool or your strain. So let's go ahead and take care of that now. If you guys have any strain you guys want to reduce prior to entering this chamber, go ahead and do a quick cool check. Average difficulty or easy difficulty if you're below half. Average difficulty if you're at half. Remembering correctly.
you want us to do the difficulty? Because it's going to be different for people?
Yeah, go ahead.
I am 0.
I do not lower any of my strain.
Sorry about
Ego does.
That's good. That's good. Good.
Proud of
Good.
you,
Good.
buddy.
That is good. All right. So,
Oh, I'm like almost dead. Wait a minute. I'm gonna use the iCore transfusion ability to transfer some of that over to strain.
you also have stem packs, I believe.
Yes, but it's not going to solve everything. It's only gonna give me 5.
This is true. This is very true.
So I will take on 5 strain to reduce 5 wounds.
Okay.
4, 5. And then I will use a stim pack to further reduce it by 5.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Okie dokie. All right. Looking good. Everybody's feeling like they got their second wind. You ready for combat?
I'm
joking.
not dying.
I just. Okay.
Oh, small point to note: as we are traveling, Rawl is going to take note of every section that we pass to see if it's fortifiable.
You know the door that you cross through is a heavy stone door. Any creature would struggle to get that door open. So I would say you probably would have wanted to close that door if you want to make sure that nothing comes up behind you.
Yes, and is there any way to brace that door? Is there anything in here that I can use to brace against it?
Not as of yet, unless you want to leave behind some equipment like the shield or something to try and wedge it.
Fuck no.
But it is a heavy ass door, so
Multiple people to open it. Like, I don't think a creature by itself is going to.
Did you not see the giant horse demon that snatched Rawl up?
Yes, but they don't have hands.
Gotta ram the damn thing.
I mean, to be fair, that motherfucker walked into the shadows and fucking deapparated, so I don't know if a door is going to be that big of a issue for him if he did decide to come back.
I just realized the Sith blade that we have, is it similar to the ones depicted on the epitaphs?
Yes.
So
At least one, either one or two images. It's not an exact one for one. If you're talking about in reference to the blade that the warrior is in possession of, then no. But there are depictions of other warriors that stood in defiance against him that were wielding blades that have a similar design to that.
In defiance of him. And we know for a fact these This Sith Warblade?
It's an ancient Sith Warblade, yeah. You don't know how old or how structurally intact it's remained over these thousands of years, but yes. You also would have gotten a history lesson from one of them, I think the registrar. Yeah, Lim. No, not Lim. Neela. She would have told you that the Siths of old would, and the Jedi of old, would imbue their weapons with the Force to take on similar properties of what is now known as a lightsaber. It allow them to reflect energy-based weapons, cut through armor, similarly to a Jedi's lightsaber, and they would design special weapons like these Sith Warblades that would help them channel the imbued Force through it. So you could potentially channel your connection to the Force to this blade to try and strengthen it, potentially.
Not yet. Unless there is something. Okay, who is currently carrying that Warblade right now?
No one. They left it behind.
You're fucking me.
It's old. They're not gonna. You guys told them to drop any gear that they're not gonna use as a weapon.
Drop equipment that they aren't needing. All the artifacts and stuff like that. Yeah, bring that along. But the equipment that they aren't needing, all the scanners, the thing they use to scan the holocron, all that stuff, lights that are too obtuse to carry around. Yeah, all of that. Leave that shit.
I was under the impression that we told them to leave anything except what can dig.
Yeah,
That too. Yeah, but I mean,
an ancient Sith blade ain't digging much.
No, it's not. However, if we leave this tomb with nothing to show for it, what was the point of even coming down here?
They activated the tracking beacons on the individual crates for later reacquisition. So you guys can find another way in to reacquire those crates and bring them back.
I would say, considering that this is a Warblade, Raw would have advised someone to hold on to it.
I mean, that's fair.
Yes, as Chav stated earlier, yes, it could crumble, but that's one damage more that we need.
That's fair. I think they probably would still keep it in the crate because risking its integrity is not ideal for even like tapping it against stone could potentially rupture the blade. They want to keep it intact for as long as possible. Yeah, you take. So what was the intent with this line of thought? Were you going to use the blade to wedge the door closed?
No. We're just gonna shut the door and hope against hope that nothing can get through it for the time being.
Okay, gotcha.
I just want to make sure that this is on hand so that if dire needs arise, then we can utilize it if necessary.
That's fair. Okay. As you guys proceed further down the corridor to the next antechamber, that's where we'll go to a quick break. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back in about 5 minutes as we resituate ourselves with drinks, snacks, and bathroom breaks. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back, all you wonderful Tubi Dicers. In my excitement, I forgot to do the announcements for our upcoming shows.
Okay, we forgot too.
Which we got locked in, thankfully, for our to be announced or to be diced announced campaigns. That being said, go ahead and get the schedule for these upcoming stories for you guys in the streaming team. There we go. So, first up would be that's going to be Tales of Arden on May 29th at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, or Arizona Standard Time. Mountain Time is different from Arizona, as they believe in daylight savings time because they're weird. Then there's Valley of Endless War. Wait, nope, I got that backwards because Valley of Endless War is also the day before on the 28th. And then following that will be June 1st for Frontiers of Ebron, the first episode of season 2, the return of one of our beloved flagship campaigns. Frontiers of Ebron, if you recall, was a wonderful Western-based D&D setting in Ebron. Wonderful story telling GM or DM Michael St. Gregory is returning to us to put us on another curious journey. You're going to be seeing a lot of new faces in this season, and I'm excited for that. Because you guys are probably getting tired of seeing my face in all of the campaigns. That being said, back at it again with Edge of the Empire on Tuesdays. Sorry that I was away for a week. I wanted to go get drunk in the mountains for my birthday.
And
This is fair.
That being said, finally, Ren had to take off for work, so Ren will be on autopilot for the rest of this session for the next 45 minutes as we delve deeper into this tune, which is fair because Ego's very much not willing to be in this tomb. So,
valid.
that being said, let's go ahead and return back to the scene where we left off. Instead of doing a monotonous one chamber at a time kind of thing, I would like to progress us a little bit further deeper in to get some ground covered. You guys do spend a couple hours. It is nearing midnight by this point, as you guys have traversed these tunnels. You started at 8 p.m. When you were buried in the tomb, and you spent a couple hours investigating, taking pictures, stopping to take pictures, reluctantly, thanks to the Crypt Chasers, wanting to get all this documented. And it's probably about this point when the events of your day start to settle in. You're starting to feel exhaustion from the amount of exertion that your body's been through with dealing with the Tentarek, trying to consume 2 of your group members. What's your guys' mindset? Get through this at all costs, or are you guys thinking of setting up a camp, a temporary camp to recover for a moment, to recover from your wounds, or what are we thinking? Are we pushing through, or are we gonna take a break to let everybody recover for a moment?
When we're go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we're going to have to rest on several accounts of we're traveling with 7 people who do not do this kind of thing. Vigo is being held together with like a hope and a prayer at this point.
Scotch tape.
No. Scotch tape is how Rawl is being held up.
And sheer spite, yeah.
It's sheer spite. Yeah, I mean, so I feel like if you transfer any more wounds into strain, you're going to pass out. So
Yeah, Rawl is on track to becoming the next Darth Scion at this rate.
5 points to be exact, but yes.
So Midu thinks that people are gonna have to nap, and like all that Chav has is 3 points of strain, so he's welcome to do a watch so that people could take a nap.
Okay. Are we in accordance? The Crypt Chasers would be in agreement with you, as they are all visibly exhausted from carrying all this gear and whatnot.
I do have one more question though. Are our force affiliated individuals going to be able to rest with demon whispers in their ear?
It's up to their discipline checks.
Son of a bitch.
And I don't have the tree that I need to block them the fuck out. So
Well, plant one.
I'll get right on that. I will roll my force points for today.
Wait, but don't push that button. Hang on. Wait, define to me what you're about to do before you push anything force related.
This is going to be an internal force action, as I'm going to,
Did you just
As
say
we're-
force action?
yes,
Like you're going to take an action using the force? Do I
inside
shoot
myself.
you now or later?
Inside myself, because it's basically just an internal fortification of I'm trying to commit. I'm not even using the force per se. I'm committing a force die.
So committing force die ability, it just removes the amount of dice you have available for any force actions. That's to keep an ongoing effect, like a control effect going.
Correct.
So you have to use a force ability in order to commit a force die.
Well, see, the thing is, this
You're
is-
trying to use the sense power, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's not even connected to what these two do. Like, this is to block attacks. This is
That's
to sense the mind of people around.
you're. It's no. That gives you a sense of intent, which still requires you to perceive others around you through the force.
I'm also going to say when you started to do this explanation, you said activate, and like
Yeah, you're gonna need to activate this ability to do it. And you already have 2 instances of very big monsters coming after you because you guys been loosely using your force abilities here.
Loosely using is a big word for Elmo.
I mean, you could go for a third, and maybe you'll get lucky and not face an encounter with a force hungry monster.
Hang on.
okay, without touching buttons, can you explain what you were trying to do to me as a player? Because I need to know.
It doesn't matter because I have to activate the ability.
Okay,
So I'm not
alright.
doing it.
Okay, I was gonna say, like at the very least, if this is like, well, I can try it, and this is a good thing, and maybe bad shit won't happen. Because my question was gonna be, can you try it after we take a nap? Not before. But if we're just not doing it all together, that is preferable.
Yeah, he's trying to give himself an edge when it comes to combat,
Well-
utilizing the sensibility to sense incoming attacks. It would increase the difficulty of an attack, I believe, or if I remember correctly, or if it gives you a setback die to an attack targeted towards him.
I will tell you. upgrades the difficulty of the pool.
Upgrade. Yeah. Okay.
And Raw is going to be taking first watch. So if there is any
Funny business.
anything that happens that's coming in his direction, he's going to be using his sense advantage to impose 2 setback die.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that is not a force ability. That is just him naturally sensing these things.
Isn't the Night Sister Universal a force tree?
It is a force tree, but it's not the force ability.
Interesting. Very well. Let's go ahead. The crew beds down for the night to get a moment's respite. Those of you that are staying up for the watch, go ahead and give me your perception checks. As you
All right.
stay up and watch for incoming.
Oh, that's me,
Dangers.
isn't it? That's me.
So,
1 failure, 3 threats versus 3 successes, 1 advantage. That's 2 successes, 2 threats remaining.
Because my table's not updating. Perception. 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 Perception.
Mm.
Mm,
Mm.
mm,
Mm.
mm, mm,
Mm.
mm,
Interesting.
mm.
Okay. So, roll. Rolly, roll, roll, rolly. Rolly, roll. Rolly, Rollster, Raw Malone, Roll Buddy, Buddy Roll,
Rawltastic? Yeah, we can.
Raw
Yep.
Malone. You and Chav take up alternating positions in the chamber to maintain vigilance over the resting crew. Chav, you're a little more preoccupied keeping your focus on Ego, who's stirring quite a bit in his attempts to try and sleep. Not really keeping vigilance on the immediate surroundings for the moment, but Rawl, you do pick up a faint skittering of, and the sound attracts your attention, and you go to investigate for a moment. And the faint skittering stops as you draw near. You look around. It seems to be coming from within the corridor ahead. And you look down the stairwell. You don't see anything. And you look across the threshold of the door. Maybe there's a loose fragment, loose parchment or cloth scraping against the stone. And you look around, and as you look to your right, you'll take note of a missing stone from the wall. And seems kind of odd. Why is there stone missing from an ancient tomb? And you kind of just look in, and
Am I watching him do this?
mm-hmm.
Hand on the blaster.
Yeah, the skittering bullshit. Yeah, immediately Raw would have summoned his vibro axe while he's casing the joint, and
Yeah.
I would say, in the other hand, he would have slung the shield on his back, and the other hand, he would have pulled out a stub pistol.
Mm-hmm. You look at this hole, and you do pick up on what appears to be beady red eyes.
Shoot.
And
Not yet.
you're hesitant to react as you do take notice as these eyes seem to take note of you, and you guys just have a moment of a stare off for a moment.
Throw the thermal detonator into the hole.
Do you do anything?
Already used that. So, however, comma, I do have my utility belt skill to see if I can produce one. How many?
It's within reason, and you need materials to do it.
Okay, listen. It literally says it could pull something that's not previously documented. That's all it says. Nothing about materials or anything like that. But you are the DM, so
Just gonna fucking pull out a fucking rocket launcher out of nowhere.
Point the missile tube at the hole.
I
And
can't
kiss
do
your
that.
ass goodbye.
I cannot do that. Where's the utility belt skill? I will pull it up. Sapper, maybe? Yeah, here we go. Produce a previously undocumented weapon or item with restrictions from a tool belt or satchel. I'm assuming that it would have to have been able to fit in the utility belt, as this is not a bag of holding.
It could be.
Small tool. Essential small tool from the utility belt, satchel, or pockets with a rarity of no greater than a 4. This cannot be a weapon unless the weapon has a limited ammo quality of 1.
Which a thermal detonator would.
Okay. Hang
Hmm.
on. Because we're kind of like taking this seriously now. I did say it kind of jokingly because we don't want to cave in down here.
Oh, I'm aware, but the option needs to be there.
I don't want to do it, but I want to know that I can do it.
Yeah.
I don't want Tarzan to tell me that I can't do it.
That's no fun. Like, what if happens if everyone else dies? Now I'm screwed.
So, in the moment, are you doing anything as you're having this stare off with these eyes? Yes or no? 5, 4,
What do I know about these eyes?
2,
Have I seen these eyes before?
1.
No, I'm not doing shit.
Okay. You hear and a glob of saliva, or what you assume is saliva, expels from the hole and impacts into your eyes. You're temporarily blind and you suffer 2 points of strain.
You don't automatically hit. You get 2 setback dice.
No, that's part of the 3 threats that you, or 2 threats that you generated.
You still get 2 setback dice.
It's flavor for the amount of threats that you've taken on. All right.
Swear to God, Tarzan, I'm going to assassinate.
Either way, you're getting 2 points of strain. You can accept the flavor
Apparently, he's blinded.
temporarily. It's only momentary until he wipes his eyes.
Right. But I think that's enough for at least me to react. Because I would like to point my holdout blaster into this hole and fire off a few rounds.
So yeah, you watch as Rawl just goes, ah! You rush up with blaster drawn, just fire indiscriminately into the hole.
Yes. It sounds much like that.
Get the fuck back!
Rawl's just like, what the fuck? What is this? Chav's just unloading into this hole. Die, motherfucker! The rest of the crew just all wakes up in a panic. Ego's like freaking out.
I don't know if you want me to roll a thing or if it's already okay, but like I will if I need to. I'm just saying, like, something came flying out. It's possibly, as far as Chav knows, attached to his face. We could be in a very different sci-fi universe all of a sudden. But at the very least, Chav is going to try to eliminate whatever the hell is in that hole.
You rush up and start shooting into the hole. You don't hear anything after the barrels stop smoking. However, out of this corner of your eye, you watch as something small and brown goes skittering down the stairwell.
I'm shooting it.
Go ahead and give me a. He's at short range from you. Give me a ranged combat attack, weapon attack with a setback die. Short range. That's average difficulty. Is
Not according to what I clicked.
Is it easy? All right. Yeah. You roll the difficulty with the combat check.
But I'm getting
Just add a setback die because he's 2 silhouettes smaller than you.
Okay. Am I allowed to use a maneuver with this?
Sure.
Okay. True aim maneuver, which I recently got a 2nd rank in, so I will be upgrading to ability die.
Ooh.
Whycha?
I hate you. Why you gotta kill my poor rat?
That was a rat?
Rat fucked up. That's why.
That was a spider shooting fucking shit at me. Like, spitting rats. That's great. Awesome.
In all actuality, it's a musk that they shoot out. You just assume that it's saliva because it came from the dark.
With the amount of advantages that I have, that's going to be a total of 8 points of damage and 2 crits.
Yeah, that thing's dead. You obliterated the fucking thing. After the barrel stops is almost done smoking, you see this little womp rat scurrying down the stairwell, and you turn and take one single shot at it. Splatters against the ground and comes to a grinding halt.
Now, here's the question. Does that appear to be the thing that could have Dilophosaurus, my buddy Rawl here?
You know they tend to fart at things that they deem a threat, and as a means of trying to blind them and run off. So you're starting to smell something pretty funky coming from Rawl right now.
Yeah, kind of putting all that together, I'm going to look and just be like, you might want to wipe that out before you get pink eye.
Sorry, buddy. I couldn't help it. It was too funny.
Literally shit in this man's eyes.
Scooping the fuck of the goop out of his face. Well, that was fucking gross.
You smell a little better, though.
He cornered a rat in his hole.
He looks over at Chav as he finishes cleaning the muck out of his face. Right, well, after all that blasted fire, did you kill it?
Yeah, no, he's fucked up.
Fantastic. Now, anything within a kilometer radius will have heard that. Great.
Well, to be fair, I didn't know it was a rat. I just saw something hit you in the face. You kind of fell back and like you do. And then I decided that was the time. And here we are. You're welcome.
Rawl just rolls his eyes and steps closer to the hole and shines a glow rod into the depths. What does he perceive?
Oh, you find its stash. There's some carcasses of dead arachnids in there, mostly chewed up. You'll find
How big?
probably no bigger than a softball.
Okay, as long as it's not Aragog coming to eat my soul, then that's fine.
It was just a small womp rat. Those things can grow up to like what Luke said they were like 2 meters. So that's what, 3 feet?
2 meters is closer to 6 feet.
Is it really? Shit.
Yeah.
So you get a sense that this was a very, very, very young womp rat that was in this hole.
Okay.
But yeah, you find the carcasses of partially consumed arachnids in there. You'll also find a gemstone embedded into a necklace. So you find an ancient set of jewelry.
It's a holocron. That womp rat was a Sith.
Partially scorched from the indiscriminate blaster fire that Chav unleashed in there.
I'll buff out.
Doo-doots.
High five.
Wow. Jesus Christ. Is the hole like large enough for a person to fit through?
No. It was the womp rat that Chav shot was about a foot long.
No. To get into that cavity of space, is the opening big enough for a person to fit through?
No, not at all. The hole was big enough for a small womp rat to make home. A small home. Temporary home.
It's a cavity.
It's just a small hole.
Like okay, all right. So it wasn't man-made.
No, it was burrowed by this rat. Found a loose stone in the wall and
How far
pushed it
back
out.
is this necklace in there?
You'll have to reach in about shoulder deep. This is in the back corner of this hole that this rat carved out.
Okay, placing the glow rod into the corner, and then motioning Chav over to like look down into the hole as he's reaching in there. Rawl is going to reach in there and try to grab that necklace.
As you're reaching in, go ahead and give me a dexterity check. Saving throw. Just kidding.
Huh!
Give me a coordination check. Easy difficulty.
Mother of gods. Of course I don't have, oh, sure. 2 failures from that 1 die. Jesus.
I love rolling good.
It's fun. It's fun.
You could retroactively roll a proficiency die if you cash in a token.
Do I want to do that for how ornate does this necklace look? Does it look like it has?
I mean, it's in a tomb that's over millions of years old. As far as you can surmise. Not millions, but thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands.
What, can he just like not reach it basically, or?
Yeah.
He could. He's just not. He has to do it without looking because it's a hole like that big, big enough to take up your entire shoulder.
So narratively, what I'm seeing is like Rawl sticks his hand in there, kind of feels around for a little bit, pulls his hand back out, and there's no necklace.
Well, you have. Is my hand just big enough to fit in that hole, or is there space for Chav to look and see?
You'd be blocking it with your torso because it's. Okay. I'm basically having you roll this coordination check to see if you can do it without touching any of the spider carcasses. You failed, so you're feeling every texture in there. So you're feeling the sharp claws of the spider's.
I actually don't because
limbs?
I'm wearing my shot gloves. So
it's grabbing against your clothing on the arm.
Oh.
So you can feel it
I'm wearing my skin suit.
Yeah, you can still feel it. It's not impervious to feeling spider claws gripping your clothing. They can climb almost damn near any surface. So yeah, you can feel those hooks kind of clawing at the fiber of your suit as you're reaching in. You grab the first thing that your hand makes connection with, and as you're feeling around, you're like, that don't feel like a jewel. And then you reach, and you realize you're fondling a skull of some sort, and you're like, nope, don't like that. As you felt a little mushy matter in there, and you feel around a little bit more to the right of that skull, and then you feel metal, and you feel what kind of resembles a stone, and you're like, that has to be it. Grab it, yank it out. You have a necklace in hand, as well as a crushed arachnid body, long decomposing, and you crushed it a little bit, so now it's kind of oozing into your palm. Yeah, you have the necklace now.
I crushed it a lot of it, actually. And basically make paste out of the damn thing, and then just flick it away.
So just because Raw's like reaching in there, having this uncomfortable experience, and as he's kind of reaching around, it's taken a little bit for him to like find the actual necklace. And at a certain point, probably narratively speaking, just because that's how it happened, like just after he realizes I have a skull in my hand, Chav just goes, "Bah!"
Rawl pauses mid-search, slowly cranes his head to look at Chav.
Boy, what do you want from me?
Really?
I love this dynamic.
Really? Now?
Get the damn thing before I have to reach in there and do your job for you.
Go gadget extendo arm.
I won't forget this, Chavisto, and pulls out the necklace.
Accompanied with a carcass of a spider. The jewelry appears to be ancient in design, long before modern designers. You get a sense if you polish this bad boy up and buff out the blaster scoring that Chav inflicted on it, you might be able to get a decent payout from it. Or the Crypt Chasers might want it for their endeavors.
Can I look at it and see what kind of stone it is?
It's a red crystal. Probably, I don't know if they have ruby in Star Wars, but a jewel similar to a ruby.
Kyber crystal?
No.
Damn it.
No, it is not a kyber
You're
crystal.
going to point out a red crystal while we are on fucking Korriban in somebody fucking tool.
You're not getting it that easy. This is just a decorative jewel.
I got a corrupted green kyber crystal that easy, so why not now?
It's not corrupted; it's cracked. It might
as well be useless then.
But
Useless
from
or
Archie.
unstable?
But yeah, you got a designer jewelry non-designer jewelry necklace in your possession.
Any markings on it or anything like symbols?
You would get. Give me a lore check. Daunting difficulty.
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You find some markings, ancient in design. They appear to be ancient Sith, predating both the Empire and the Republic. You're not necessarily certain as to which era, but you're pretty sure it's about 100 100,000 BBY.
100 BBY.
100,000 BBY.
1,000. Sorry. Awesome.
If not more.
Anything on it that resembles anything he might have read in the Night Sisters library?
In terms of the design of the necklace?
Yeah.
No, this seems to be decorative.
Okay.
There's no significance to it aside from being designer.
Awesome. Okay. Yep. Brawl pockets it and continues his rounds.
Okay. You guys, your guys' watch goes for the rest of the night uneventful. Do you guys plan on taking up a rest yourselves, or?
Yeah. Brawl's about to keel over, so.
All right.
So, I mean, honestly, if I'm only down, or I only have 3 points of strain use, so my question is, will I suffer anything for not resting?
If you don't take an evening's rest, you can do up to 72 hours without rest. However, you do accumulate setback dies over that period of
We're gonna
time.
nap. We're gonna nap. We're gonna nap. You said the bad word. We're gonna nap.
That's bad juju. We don't like it.
You said a bad word.
Okay, so you guys are gonna go down for a nap, and Ego and the probably one of the crypt chasers, we'll say
Zeno or Zeke or whatever his name
Zeke, yeah, the Kyuzo. He'll take up the other watch with his mining drill.
Is that mining drill two-handed?
Yes, it's bulky. He has to.
Okay.
It requires both hands for him to use it.
Out of curiosity, what skill does the mining drill use?
I believe it's brawn. Let me double check my Word Elf miner.
Does it? Maybe I should pick
Yeah.
the mining drill.
It's a melee based weapon, so yeah, it requires brawn.
Roger Dodger.
Ren, if you are in chat, do you have enough brawn to pick up this shield?
I haven't seen her talking, so I don't know if today is a day that we will be visited by Ren in the chat.
I thought I saw her post.
No,
Oh,
just
yeah.
some other guy who just appears to be, just talking shit for no reason.
Yeah, who's that? That we don't like him.
I like it. Yeah, so you guys go down for your rest. Not guy, sorry. I'm saying guy now that I saw Victor in the chat. Ego and Zeke take up watch. You guys want me to roll a... Actually, no, Ego's good. Ego's good. But they do have to do a perception check with a setback die. You guys want to roll Ego's perception, or do you want me to roll it?
How about you roll it? But if you would like to, if it applies, you can use one of them force tokens, is what I would say.
Okay. Ego's pretty good at perception as an average. But they do have a setback because of their fearful state.
Yeah.
But they succeed, however. Well done. And then the miners will also roll one. Look at that. All right.
Ren is in the chat, so if you would like to recant your question about their brawn rating, why are we asking? We can just click.
Yeah.
Stuff is right here.
Brawn rating is 2. So with a cumbersome of 4, Ego would be could use the drill, but with 2 additional setback to any combat checks that are made with it.
Yeah, not the best idea.
Probably more effective with their blaster than they would be with that drill.
Yeah.
Or shield, sorry, not the shield. Drill. What's the cumbersome rating of the shield? I don't know what I told you. Let's take a look.
Oz. Okay, you did move. You weren't moving for a bit. I was concerned that you disconnected or something.
Sorry.
What is the cumbersome rating of the shield?
I don't know.
I assume that you had the stats because you were had a big heart on for the shield.
Well, I mean, it's not for me. It's for the robot. You see.
Cumbersome of 3.
Nice.
Chev could use it.
Cumbersome of 3, defensive of 2, deflection of 2.
Yeah, if you want. Either way, I have no much use for it because I'm going to bed.
Wait, what's the encumbrance on it?
The encumbrance itself is
3.
3.
Jeff can't use it.
Oh, no, I lied. Encumbrance of 4.
Jeff even more can't use it.
Well,
just use it as a blanket.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah, I will be using it as a blanket actually. So, yeah, you're just gonna lie down. Actually, no, I'm gonna use it as a pillow. Fuck the blanket, and he'll lie down, put the shield under his head, and knock out for a couple Z's.
All right. While you are resting, you recover 1 point of wounds. So if you have any wounds still lingering, go ahead and recover 1 point of wound.
And then we heal all strain, correct?
All strain is recovered, correct. That being said, Chav, rest comes to you relatively easy. Go ahead, Raul.
I would say also before he heads to bed, Raw will reapply the stim pack, so that's 4 points of wounds healed.
All right, how many charges do you have left in your stim pack?
I have multiple, so.
How many charges?
The one I just used would have been the first iteration of it.
Because you have to buy additional cartridges to use it.
Right.
The stim pack itself is just the injector. You have to get the cartridges to get additional wounds or heals. So yeah, stim pack. You have 4. So yeah, okay. Wait, no, that's ego.
I have.
You got 2. So you used 1. So you're using your last stim cartridge. Okay. All right, that works. That gives you another additional 4 points of wounds back, and then you heal 1 wound naturally during your rest. Ren.
Yep.
Ego's rest was taxing, but rest all the same. It was not an easy rest for you. The constant whispers trying to keep you awake to try and get you to leave. Although they, albeit they are still persistent, telling you to turn back. You were able to get rest for a moment. All right.
Do I need to roll a discipline check for you?
For what?
to be able to sleep
No,
because of the whispers?
no.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
No, leave it as a surprise.
No, I'm going to tell you why. There's a strange level of comfort as you're in deeper into this tomb. The whispers at this point of at this position that you're at in the tomb have been dulled down to a barely perceptible wisp. It sounds like wind moving in the distance, very, very faint.
That does not bode well, but okay.
There's the occasional turn back, but it's overshadowed by the sense of by the energy of welcoming, the energy that's welcoming you in. That's what I'm trying to say. Shit, English. Do I speak it? And you find yourself finding rest relatively easy. Chav, your thoughts bring you to a dream of flying in the stars once again, getting far away from this planet, being on turf that you're more in control over.
Talk about actually living the dream.
Rawl, however, your thoughts dwell on Dathomir and that epitaph that shows this mysterious warrior granting the people of Dathomir long ago some type of boon or not ancient knowledge. And as you slip into a slumber, your vision brings you back to the surface of Dathomir. You're laying prone on the ground on your back as the daunting sun peers down on you, blinding you for a moment as you're shielding your eyes, and you look around to find yourself out in the middle of a field. You sit up, looking around. You find yourself in a valley, barren as barren as you remember Dathomir to be. But a mountain range off in the distance catches your attention. You look off to your right. 2 trees, devoid of foliage, but standing still firm. Off to the right. You stand up, looking around curiously, and you can hear groveling behind you. As you turn to the sound of this groveling, you swear for a moment it's the Night Mother. But as she looks up to you...
My Night Mother?
Yes. But as she looks up to you, the face that you see bears no resemblance, but somebody different. You look down to see them almost in reverence of you, or worshiping you, or accepting something from you. You look down at yourself, and you find yourself donned in armor, long, flowing cape billowing behind you. Two metal cylindrical items or tools dangling from the belt on your waist. Pauldrons, as black like obsidian, donned on your shoulders, imposing a daunting figure. You find yourself reaching out, placing your thumb on the forehead of this Night Mother. It's weird because it's not your intention to touch, to reach out. Something's compelling you. And you watch and feel as a power courses down your arm, focalizes into the tip of your thumb. A pulsing ring emanates from your thumb and envelops the head of this woman as she is the bearer of your grand gift, a boon you provide to these people. A gift of untold power. That's where we'll end tonight's session. Thank you, all you wonderful 2B Dicers, for tuning into tonight's episode of 2B Dice Adventures Star Wars Edge of the Empire, an episode called Paid in Blood. What that will mean is to be diced, as you will have to tune in for part 2 next week. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Till then, we love you, and we'll see you. Good night. That's not the right button I was supposed to hit.
It's not the
There we go.